Good day everyone. We are the group who will discuss the topic measures of economy, economic indicators, which is inflation. So to start, let me define first what is inflation. Inflation is a sustained increase in the general price level of goods and services over time. Inflation measured by the percentage change in the consumer's price index. So in the Philippines, factors such as increased demand, higher production costs, and changes in exchange rate can trigger inflation. So for example, if bread cost 75 pesos last year and 95 pesos this year, the increase of bread represents inflation. And it's crucial para sa mga policymakers natin to manage inflation because as high inflation can cause economic instability. Pero hindi lang Pilipinas ang nakakaranas ng inflation, also Greece.
This is the Philippine inflation rate chart from the month of October 2022 up to September 2023. And this chart is from the Philippine Statistics Authority. And according to the government, the target inflation rate of our country is only 2.0% up to 4.0%. As we can see from the chart, from the October 2022 up to December 2022, tumaas ang rate ng inflation from 7.7% ay naging 8.1%. And pagpasok ng taong 2023, mas tumaas pa from 8.1 naging 8.7%. And after the month of January, nagkaroon ng deflation hanggang month of July, which is from 8.7% noong January ay naging 4.7% na lang noong July 2023. And after the month of July, nagkaroon ulit ng inflation from 4.7% ay naging 6.1% ang inflation rate. Pero hindi lang Pilipinas ang nakakaranas ng inflation. Nakakaranas din ng mga ibang bansa, gaya na lamang ng bansang Greece. According sa government ng Greece, ang target inflation rate nila for this year 2023 is 4.3%. And this chart is the Greece inflation rate chart. This is from the month of November 2022 up to October 2023. This is from the National Statistical Service of Office. As we can see from the chart, from the month of November 2022 up to June 2023, nagkaroon sila ng deflation. From 8.5 inflation rate percent, bumaba hanggang 1.8%. And sa month ng July ay nagkaroon sila ng inflation which is from 1.8 naging 2.5%. And sa mga sunod-sunod pa nilang month, hindi naging stable yung kanilang inflation rate dahil sa pagkakaroon ng tinatawag nating deflation.
So these are the reasons of inflation in Philippines. Inflation caused by supply chain disruption. Inflation caused by supply chain disruption, also known as supply shock, occurs when sudden events like pandemics or national disasters disrupt global supply chains. This disruption lead to higher production costs for businesses, which are then passed on to consumers through the higher prices for goods and services. So this result in overall price increases across the economy causing inflation. So pagka dinadaanan tayo ng bagyo, ano yung common na nangyayari sa atin, 'di ba? Bumababa yung mga presyo ng palay kasi bumababa din yung quality. And kapag farmers to producers, mababa yung presyo ng palay. Pero pagka producers to consumers, tumataas yung presyo. Next is nung pandemic, nagbabago yung mga pangangailangan natin, nabigla yung economy natin, hindi natin kayang i-produce agad-agad yung kailangan nating supply. Therefore, tumaas yung production cost ng mga materials, ng mga sweldo ng mga trabahador, na nagkukos din ng pagtaas ng presyo ng mga pangangailangan natin. Then next is inflation caused by currency devaluation. Inflation caused by currency devaluation occurs when a country's currency loses value compared to another currency. This makes imported goods more expensive, leading to higher prices domestically and increasingly overall inflation rates within the economy. Yung Philippine peso natin is mababa kumpara sa US dollar or euro, and kilala tayo bilang mga ngalakal, puro tayo import, and kahit sobrang napakamahal sa ating mga Pilipino yung mga imported products, tinatangkilik pa rin natin ito, and yun yung nagko-cause ng inflation. Next is the reasons of inflation in Greece. Our economy is reopening fast. Yung economy ng Greece is reopening, leading to increased spending. Businesses raises prices. Companies struggle to meet rising demand and rebuild pandemic-affected supply chains, causing transportation difficulties and higher expenses. Then, the pandemic has altered consumers' needs, creating an imbalance between supply and demand, particularly in electronics and home improvement supplies. Over time, this imbalance will gradually decrease as production and infrastructure adapt. And this time, nabigla yung economy ng Greece natin sa pag-open when it comes sa production. Nahihirapan silang i-produce yung pangangailangan ng mga tao since nag-pandemic, nag-stop yung mga companies, even sa mga transportation na nag-lead ng mataas na consumption ng mga tao, na nagkakos din ng mataas na presyo ng mga bilihin. Next is higher energy prices are pushing up inflation. Oil, gas, and electricity prices have increased globally due to various factors. Less wind in UK, droughts in Brazil, and cold winter causing lower oil and gas reserves have all contributed to the price hike. Growing demand has also played role since energy costs are a significant part of expenses for companies and individuals. This price increase have significant impact on overall inflation. Fluctuations in energy prices are common due to their susceptibility to multiple influences. Dahil dito, tumataas din yung production cost na nagko-cost din ng inflation. And kahit sobrang taas ng gas, oil, and electricity is ginagrab pa rin natin ito kasi kailangan natin yon.
Good day everyone, I am Trixie Bea Atencio and I'll be discussing the implications of inflation in Philippines and Greece. Firstly, higher cost of living. With inflation on the rise, the cost of living in the Philippines is likely to increase. Higher prices for food and other essential items can put a strain on household budgets, making it more difficult for individuals and families to meet their basic needs. For example, Maria, a middle-income earner in the Philippines, noticed a significant increase in the prices of groceries and basic commodities due to inflation. The cost of rice, vegetables, and other essential items has risen, consuming a large portion of her monthly budget. As a result, Maria finds it difficult or challenging to allocate her funds for other necessities such as education, healthcare, leading to increased financial strain on her household. Second, business challenges. The increase in inflation can pose challenges for business operating in the Philippines. Higher input costs such as raw materials and transportation expenses can squeeze profit margins and potentially lead to price increase for goods and services. This can impact consumer demand and business profitability. For example, a company, an electronic or a tech company in the Philippines, experienced a surge in inflation impacting its operations. The price of electronic components sourced internationally have risen, increasing the company's production. To maintain a profitability, a company is forced to raise the prices of its product. However, this results in reduced demand as consumers adjust their spending habits. The company faces the challenge of balancing increased costs with maintaining a competitive market position. Thirdly, income redistribution. Inflation affects different segments of society differently. Those with fixed incomes or lower wages may face greater challenges as their purchasing power diminishes. On the other hand, individuals with assets that appreciate with inflation, such as real estate or investment, may benefit from rising prices. For example, Carlos, a retiree with a fixed pension in the Philippines, faced challenges with rising inflation. The cost of goods and services increases faster than his fixed income, reducing his purchasing power. Meanwhile, Sophia, a real estate investor, experienced a positive impact from inflation. The value of her properties appreciates, allowing her to benefit from inflationary environment. This creates a scenario where income redistribution favor those with assets like real estate over individuals relying on fixed incomes.